cruise news time, and but we got some interesting stories, including me doing a mea culpa. I made a huge mistake yesterday. Look, I've got an update for the story about the Norwegian Cruise Line ship in Boston. Also, a milestone day for Carnival Cruise Line, a big day for a big city in Australia. And well, my luggage, it made it to, I had a crazy travel day. My luggage made it to Las Vegas well before I did, and I was in a panic. Would I lose it? Would it be there? Have you ever had this situation? I'll tell you all about it. Cruise news and my views. Vegas style. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. It is, what is it? It is Thursday the 15th of September, 2022, and indeed, I am in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was no small feat to get to Las Vegas. I'll tell you about my travel day later, but first, let's talk about some cruise news. Cruise news story number one, an update to the story yesterday. When we released a video yesterday, the Norwegian Breakaway was in the port of Boston. It had been boarded by local law enforcement officials for an investigation of an assault. There wasn't a lot of details as to the nature of the assault. We found out throughout the day that it was an assault between employees. And not only had state troopers come on board, but also the FBI. The story just kept getting worse and worse. There's an investigation going on. There's not much more information than that, but hopefully everybody involved is okay, the victim, and hopefully it gets resolved. We hate to hear it. But I stand by what I said yesterday. Don't fight on a cruise ship. It wasn't a fighting story, it turned out, but don't fight on a cruise ship. That's paramount. Cruise news story number two, Carnival celebration. Celebrate new ships. Come on. Carnival celebration, the newest ship in the XL class, is one step closer to becoming a passenger-going vessel. It was over there in Meyer Turku, Finland, doing its sea trials. Sea trials, it's what it sounds like. They take the ship out to sea. They make sure all the systems are good to go. Everything is copacetic. There was an official statement by Carnival. Let me read some of that to you. During her sea trials, Carnival Celebration underwent several tests which are meant to determine the ship's capability and her performance. We've done many maneuvering tests such as an endurance test, steering test, speed test, and thrusters test. The ship performed wonderfully, and shortly we will get her out and start cruising. That's good. I'm going to be on the Carnival Celebration this year. It's a little bit of a secret right now, but we're going to be on the Carnival Celebration this year, so I can't wait to show you some of that ship. All right, cruise news story number three. The Australia cruise restart is in full swing, and much like we did in the United States, we celebrated when there was a cruise city that hadn't had cruises in a while receiving cruise ships, and today, the city that we're celebrating in Australia is Melbourne. Melbourne. It's one of those cities that we have it in Florida and we have it in Australia. We call it Melbourne, Florida. Is it Melbourne? I apologize to my Aussie friends if I've said it wrong. Melbourne. Are you ready for my apology for yesterday's mistake? Yesterday's mistake may have been the biggest mistake I've ever made because I got so much feedback on it. But either way, the Coral Princess made its way to Melbourne, really kicking off the first cruising there in the last almost 3 years. And now there's going to be more and more cruise ships coming to Melbourne. And so exciting times for our friends from the land of Oz. Aussie. That's the only thing I know how to say. I'm not going to do any weird Crocodile Dundee jokes. Did you guys love the Crocodile Dundee, Australian fans? Leave a comment below. How about that? Okay, that's essentially the end of the cruise news stories, but I do need to tell you about my travel day yesterday, and I do need to apologize. But before I do all of that, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, that's 3D cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on these episodes. Thank you in advance. And look, I'm wearing the Sugar Skulls again. Did you get your Sugar Skull? Sugar Skull for Halloween. Also for the actual Day of the Dead celebration, which is in the beginning of the year, I believe. Rep the fam, Sugar Skull style. I'll leave a link to the t-shirts in the description below. Okay, let's talk about the journey to Las Vegas. Air travel has been a challenge lately, and yesterday was no exception. The way that it worked out is I got to the airport on time in Tampa. The goal was to fly from Tampa to Houston and then Houston to Las Vegas. I was supposed to be here by 5 o'clock Las Vegas time. No big deal. However, when I got to the airport, my flight had been delayed. And so that started a chain of events. But a real positive day yesterday. I got to meet a couple members of the Locafam that actually work for Southwest. I got to meet Wade and his wife. Wade's wife helped me with Southwest's person of size policy. This is one of the reasons I like to fly Southwest. They have a real accommodating policy for people of my size, and so much appreciated to that. And then Wade helped me out as my flights were delayed. So a big shout out to Wade and his wife. Much love to the Loca fam. But the long and the short of it is my flight got delayed from Tampa to Houston. It got delayed enough that I missed my connecting flight in Houston. So they scheduled me a new flight. Instead of flying from Houston to Las Vegas, I flew from Houston to San Antonio, which is odd because I mentioned last week I'd never been to San Antonio. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to get an apple pie and to tell them to remember the a la mode. But yeah, so San Antonio, Houston to San Antonio, just enough time to get on the next plane, and then San Antonio to Las Vegas. I finally got here about 8 o'clock Las Vegas time, so only about a 3-hour delay. So a long travel day, but I'm here, and that's why we have travel days. But the weirdest aspect of that yesterday was that my luggage got to Las Vegas about 4 hours before I did. Another shout out to the AirTags. I've been using the AirTags. Hold on, let me grab an AirTag. Here's an example of an AirTag. This is an Apple AirTag, and I just put it in this holder, and I put it in my suitcase. So what was wild is when I landed in Houston, I was able to see that my bag was already in Las Vegas. And so that caused me some worry because I'm like, well, my luggage obviously isn't going to be on the same luggage carousel that the luggage coming off of San Antonio is going to be on. And so before I boarded the plane in San Antonio to go to Las Vegas, I just asked one of the counter workers, I was like, hey, what's the deal? And they're like, don't worry about it. We got a special process for when luggage gets there before you. There's an office there, and you can go find your luggage. And I'm like, well, I've never done that before, but I've seen those offices, and so I was hopeful. And sure enough, when I got off the plane in Las Vegas, I didn't go to the carousel for the San Antonio plane, but I went right to the office. They had all the luggage that had gotten there early in alphabetical order, and there was my bag. So I was reunited. So that was a travel day yesterday, and again, there's nothing better than being in a destination. My brother is here. He's being super quiet over there. What's up, Retro Sarge?
Going on, yeah.
Yeah, so he's trying to do his work. He's just like, would this guy quit talking? But yeah, Retro Sarge got in last night at midnight. Yeah, it was midnight Las Vegas time, so like 3 a.m. Eastern time. So we were up pretty late just getting here, but we're here. We're ready. We're going out to a cool excursion today. We're going to ride trikes, like motorcycles with 3 wheels, out into the Red Rock Canyon. One more day out in the canyon. I'm excited. Let me just say, I'm hyped. Okay, let me address the mistake. Let me give you the mea culpa. The only reason I'm giving any time to this at all is this is probably I've never seen a mistake that had received more comments in the comments than this mistake, and it tells me 2 things. First, it tells me that you guys are observant and you're smart people, and the second thing that it tells me is that most of you guys are lazy and don't read the comments, because there was so many of these comments that if you'd just done a cursory glance, cursory as in barely paying attention, if you'd just done a cursory glance at the comments, you would see that I'd already been helped out with my misinformation. But in my excitement yesterday to tell you about the land and sea cruise from American Cruise Line that goes to 3 national parks, I said it was going to Yosemite, to Glacier National Park, and to the Grand Tetons. I got excited because I flashed forward in my mind to Free Solo, which is one of my favorite documentaries because it scares me to death. It's about a climber who climbs mountains or rocks in a national park without any rope, and I said that was the National Park of Yellowstone, which was incorrect. The El Capitan is in Yosemite. So a shout out to all the people that gave me the gentle reminder that I'd messed up. Hey, Tony, I think you're confused. El Cap is in Yosemite. It's not in Yellowstone. Thanks, and I appreciate it, and I hope I was able to say thanks on all of those comments. And for the people that use the opportunity to probably show their true colors and just be a little jerky, hey man, when did they move El Capitan over to Yellowstone? Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you guys. You're right. Big applause for you. You got the guy on the internet. Stand tall today. Stand proud. Stand proud. Good job. Yeah, my brother, he just said good job. All right. Yeah, come at us. I got me and my brother today. Come at me, bro. All right. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. I sure hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, you could do me a solid and hit the like button. Unfortunately, if you don't hit the like button, I will be forced to punish you, and your punishment is this. Anytime you make a lapse of tongue, anytime you misspeak, or anytime that you say the wrong thing, well, you will be met with a cacophony of ridicule. Yeah, I think I used cacophony right. I don't even know if I said the word right. There's something else to pick on me for. Ridicule. You will be ridiculed for your mistakes instead of met with the loving grace of the masses, which is what I got. So, anyways, that's my apology. My apologies never seem that sincere, do they? But anyways, I am sorry, but not at the same time. Thank you for watching the show today. We got Vegas stuff to do. All right, this is Tony for Lido, Loca, and Retro Sarge. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.